Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another railroad development stream. Today we're going to be working on something a little bit new. Well, I say a little bit new, completely new. Let me just create a new branch real quick for this. As you can see from the title, we're going to be working on a Gradle tab. Now, I just need to make the branch because I forgot to do this. So, quickly gonna go like that. And I'm gonna publish. Boom. And hopefully we will now be on the Gradle tab branch. Nice. Okay. So, I think let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, now this is probably going to be quite complicated today, but we'll see. We shouldn't have to write too many new systems. It's going to be a lot of UI work today. So we'll see how that goes. To get started, where's the best place to start? Because this is quite a complex thing. I think let's go into the IDE setup class, because obviously we need to actually make the tab, and that needs to only happen if it's a Gradle project. So what I'm inclined to do is this correct? Yes, this is correct. Okay, I'm inclined to get rid of this because we don't need this anymore. Quite frankly, we don't need, that's just like a fake pane that we had temporarily. Instead, let's put a new tab. We'll call it the Gradle tab. And yeah, that's correct, I believe. Yes, that would be correct. So we're going to do that, and then we also need to add the icon, I believe. So we have here, it used to be properties, it now needs to be Gradle, and we need to use railroad, I think it's railroad brand icons. I don't remember exactly where it is. Ah, yes, it is. And that needs to be get description. Boom. Okay. Then let's create this class. And we should then just be able to at least see the tab in the IDE, which will be a good start. So we'll do that first. So go in here. We're going to make this so I'm not exactly sure how I want this to even work. I wrote a thing for it on the GitHub project, so I'm quickly going to have a look at that. So railroad features, here we go. Gradle tab. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the issue, hopefully, and then I can bring that up on stream. Et voila. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. Okay, so effectively what we're trying to do is this, right? But we're going to do it slightly different to IntelliJ, because the way IntelliJ does it is you have a couple different things in here. So you have tasks, you have dependencies, and run configurations. They're all combined into this one thing. I think that's okay, but it's just not really what I want. So I did talk about in the issue exactly what I'm aiming for. So I'm aiming for kind of different tabs inside of the tab. So there'll be a tab for tasks, and there'll be a tab for dependencies, and maybe in the future we add other ones as well. But for now, those are the two planned ones. So if we go back to this, you can see this is basically how it would look. This was just a little bit of like paint, a bit of editing in paint, just cropping things out to make it look how I want it to look. And then you got the dependencies one here as well. That's basically all we're aiming for. It shouldn't be too hard. The hardest part is going to be having folders and then having items inside the folders, because that's a little bit tricky, but it should be doable. So hello, how do I say that name? Exon C, that's how I'm gonna say. Welcome to the stream. I probably butchered your name, I do apologize. But yes, welcome to the stream. So we need to figure out what we actually want this to be. If it's going to be a tab, then do I just make it a tab pane? And I think the answer is probably. I think that's probably a reasonable thing to do. So if we just make it a tab pane, we can have 2 tabs, and obviously we need to make it so you can't close the tabs because we don't necessarily want them to be closable. The other option, of course, is that maybe we make them buttons rather than tabs, which could work better, possibly. Well, yeah, this is a decision we have to make, right? Do we want to make the 2 different sections tabs, or do we just make them buttons and then handle the logic ourselves? The logical answer to that is make them tabs, right? Because then we don't have to do the logic ourselves. Or we make them buttons and do the logic ourselves. But if they're buttons, then they'll be easier to style. So it's a 50-50 way up. Hello Rat, welcome to the stream. I think we'll stick with it being a tab pane, just because it's easier to do. We can figure out styling later. I just want to get some core functionality down today. So I think that's fine. We'll go with that. And that shouldn't cause us any problems. I can't wait until I start working on a tech mod in Railroad. That would be awesome. And we're actually kind of close to that being possible. Right now that we have run configurations, we have a Gradle system. Obviously this is going to be useful because it will allow us to add run configurations just by like double clicking one of these, which is great. That's so much easier than how it currently is. And then the only last thing that we need is the console tab, and I'm planning on doing that. I don't know if we'll do that tomorrow or not. It depends how fast this goes. This probably I don't know, we'll see. But it will be feasibly possible. Admittedly, it won't be a great experience, but it will be possible once we have a console. It's technically possible now. It would just be horrible because you don't have a console, so it wouldn't be good. At least with a console, it's better. And the code editor needs some work as well, but obviously that requires a semantic syntax tree, which is an entire thing in of itself. Regardless, let's figure this out. So I say we have 2 tabs, so let's just do 2 tabs. Let's have a private final. Sure, I think that's reasonable. That's not what I want though. We don't want console. So there's probably more tabs we're going to add in the future. Because obviously we have the tasks and we have dependencies. We could add run configurations, like how IntelliJ does it. I don't necessarily know why you would choose to do that though. I don't really know why IntelliJ did that, because it feels extremely unnecessary, but I don't know. I think we're fine just having 2, at least for now. Maybe we'll come up with something else later, but dependencies, there we go. I think that's fine. Okay, that's basically what we want. Yeah, Thank you. Now, I don't know if there's a way we can have like a... I think you can set a close policy, right? Yeah, tab close policy. And you can just do unavailable, I think, which means you can't close the tabs. Yes, that is correct. So that's basically what we want, right? Does the run config run in series or parallel? You can choose. So I would show you, but now we have a bunch of errors. I can show you. 1 second. If I comment this out, and oh yeah, it does need a constructor that takes into the project. Okay, if I run this, you will see, and hopefully we also should have the Gradle tab. So this is a good thing to test, anyways. So we'll just give it a second. I need to see if there's a way I configure it to like run on this monitor, because currently it opens on my main monitor. I wonder if there's a way I can configure it so that when I'm streaming it opens on my stream monitor. I don't know how I would do that, but possibly something we can look into. Okay, here you go. Here's the Gradle tab. So that's basically what I need. At some point I need to fix this as well, because they don't remember the size they previously were at. It should be somewhat easy to fix, but regardless. So yes, if we go run configurations, yeah, so if you create a new compound configuration, you can choose to run it either parallel or sequential. So yeah, you choose basically. Normal run configurations obviously run in the order that you run them, but yeah, compound ones run depending on what you want. So it could be parallel, could be sequential, but yeah, that's basically the options you have. Just one script to run data and run client. That would be great. Yeah, that would be really good. That's the kind of thing you could do. And honestly, something that we could just have by default, right? In Railroad. Like, it could just be a default configuration. Once we have the sort of system that would allow for that, technically possible now, I suppose, but what we're doing today will make that even easier. Something like that is feasible. So, okay, yes, let's get rid of this because we don't actually want that. I mean, we do, but not like that. So we're going to take in the project. And by the way, I guess I should say this. The reason we're doing this today is because I didn't want that to open on that monitor, but it's fine. I just made a pull request and merged it as well. See if I can find it. Requests closed. Yeah, so I just made a pull request for the Gradle manager, which is why we're doing this today, because this will allow us to just run Gradle tasks really easily, like insanely easily, which is why I've added this, which will save us a bunch of time today. As you can see, quite a lot of stuff has gone into this to allow us to have the entire Gradle manager and all of this stuff, which is what we're going to be using today. Is the primary system we're going to use today. Hello Fortnite, welcome to the stream. Now I am thinking we don't want the actual tabs themselves to be a class, right? We just want these to be a tab, because then it's the content that will be the special class, right? So even though Copilot was somewhat correct in what the tabs are, it's got it a little bit wrong. And that also now compiles as well, which is an additional benefit. Question, do we have a localized tab? We do not. That is something we definitely should have. Do we have an RR tab? No. Okay, we should probably create a localized tab, right? So that it can be translated. That should be trivial to do, I believe. So let's quickly go ahead and do that. We go UI localized, create a new class, localized tab, extends tab, like that, and yeah, kind of. Not quite, but kind of. So I think we can actually just super it, right? I think that's a thing you can do. Yes. Which isn't, once again, quite what we want. We actually want to do localization service. No. It's something like this. Localize it. I actually don't remember. Is it services dot? Oh no, service locator. Okay. I haven't done anything in Railroad Core for a while, so I don't remember exactly how that works. But I think then it's localization service dot class, and then you can get title key. I don't actually think that's correct though. I don't think that's what you're meant to do. If I look at these ones, yeah, I think that's probably a better way to do this, rather than doing it in the super, because otherwise we'll just have a bunch of repeat code, which we don't really want. So we can't just call this super constructor, then call set key, then call set text. Yeah, that's fine. And then we can just create these two functions, which are going to be exactly the same, I believe. Okay, now this has been repeated a bunch of times. That should have definitely been made a thing. I don't know why that wasn't done like that. This also, this is horrible. Thank you, IntelliJ. Why are you like this? Bro, use @getter. Yeah, but I'm calling it get key, not current key. Like, I don't want it to be called get current key. I want it to be called get key. But I mean, I think you can. Can't you pass in the name of the method or something? But like, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. Can you do that? Or am I imagining being able to do that? No, you can't do that. Wait, can you? Maybe? No. Maybe? I don't know. I don't think you can. But regardless, yes, as I said, I want it to be called get key, not get current key. So, God, I hate this so much. This, fine. We're just gonna keep it called like this then, and then this is old value, and then in that case, we're not gonna have that like that. We're just gonna have it like that, which looks weird, but that's fine. So set text is fine. That is what we want. Hello, Wide. Welcome to the stream. Is that what this one did? Sure. Whatever. That works, I guess. So now we have a localized tab. Okay, so these can now be localized tabs, and we can pass in our key. The other thing I will do, though, something different with the chat. Like, I can't really tell. I think it's the ats. I don't think those used to be there before. Like, obviously you used to at someone, but I don't think yeah, I don't. What's this? Oh, that's technically correct. But yeah, I think it just showed it displays username instead of a nickname. It does? Oh, yeah, it does. Wait, did it used to do that? I don't know. I think it's just the apps. I could be wrong. Yes, this is what I was looking for. Okay. This is weird, though. Like, this just do that, and then do that. Okay, and then we can easily just pass the content in there as well. Okay, so this is going to be railroad.gradle.toolwindow, dot tasks, and then that'll be a Gradle tasks pane. And then this is going to be very similar. That's going to be for dependencies. What is happening in the stream? Today, we are working on the Gradle tab, like IntelliJ has here. That's what we're working on today. I don't really like this because it's a little bit too long. Should I... Sometimes I do this. I feel like it's too short to do that. It just looks a little bit weird. I could just do this, maybe. Not really necessary for this one, though, but then that's inconsistent. I'm just going to let it go over. It only goes a little bit over. So it's fine. Okay. I think that's basically all we need, though. We'll create getters for these. Admittedly, I don't necessarily think we need them. We can also, I think, get the... Yeah, we can just do this. There we go. Just because we might need these in the future. Okay, let's work on tasks first, because that's going to be so incredibly much easier. I don't have a system for dependencies yet, so I don't know how we're going to do that. So we're going to do tasks first. Just minimize all of that rubbish. Okay, new class, Gradle tasks pane. So this is just a tree view. So I'm going to extend. I don't know if we have an RR tree view. We do not. Okay. So we're just going to extend tree view. And then the item is going to be... I don't know what the item is. I think I'm going to call it Gradle task tree element, which is a weird name, but you have to consider that we're going to have folders. So we're going to have 3 types of items, right? We're going to have the projects, then we're going to have folders, and then below that we're going to have the actual tasks themselves. So there's 3 different types that we have to be able to handle, and they basically all have different things. You can see here, I can right-click the project. I can't right-click a folder. I can right-click a task, and it comes up with different things than the project and the folder. So we have to be able to have those 3 different types. So let's create a public static class, which is going to be this. Now this is going to be abstract, I should point out, which will be that. So yeah, it's just going to have a string name, and then we're also going to have an icon, I believe. Why doesn't it like that? Oh, because it has to be like that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's going to have a name, and then it's also going to have an icon. So let's plonk an icon in here. Well, I get, I don't know. It is going to have an icon, but it's not going to be like that. Like, we don't want it to be in the element per se. I guess what we could do is we could have a public abstract. Well, Huh. I'm trying to think, how do we want to do this? We don't want a string because it's not going to be a path to a file. It's just going to be an icon, I suppose. Yeah, it's just going to be an icon with a K. I don't know that we need toString, but we'll keep it just in case we do. Okay. So then we just have the 3 different types, right? So we're going to have a public static class, and then there's just going to be a Gradle project element. Okay, I think for the project we're just going to do the exact same thing IntelliJ does and just give it the Gradle element. So we're going to go railroad brand icons dot Gradle. Okay. Then we're going to go public static class Gradle I kind of just want to call it folder element, but we'll go with a Gradle folder, Gradle task folder element. Okay, so this will be a folder, not that kind of folder though. So the folder will be from font awesome solid folder. Now, do we actually have the icon that IntelliJ has? So what's that, like a folder with like a gear icon, right? I would say that's a folder with a gear icon. Do we have that or not? It might be in dev icons. Gear folder. Okay, what about font awesome regular? No. Okay, what about the material FX ones? Because they have some different ones. I don't know why I'm calling it cog. It's probably called a gear, isn't it? I mean, they have like... What is a folder tree? I'm curious. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I probably should have thought about that. It's probably going to be... it's going to be called a gear, not a cog. So maybe... font awesome solid dot gear. No, I already tried that, didn't I, actually? Okay, I guess we're going to use folder. We'll just use folder. Maybe later we'll come back and change it, but I think that's fine. Yeah, and then we just have a Gradle task element. So this is going to be a terminal, I think. Same as IntelliJ, to be honest. I don't see why it would be anything different. So that's fine. Maybe in the future, obviously, we'll have custom icons for these things, but for now, perfectly reasonable. So let's have we're going to need the list of actual Gradle tasks. So the way these actually work is these folders, like, they're not really a thing. Instead, each Gradle task has a path. And the path will basically be these folders. So that does kind of complicate things, but I think it's fine. We can have an observable list of Gradle task model, which will be the tasks, and that'll be equal to fx collections dot observable array list, like that. Now, I think we should have a listener in here. So this will take in the project, of course. So project. Alt enter. No, that didn't want to do that. Okay. So from the project, we can get the Gradle manager. And from the Gradle manager, we can get the model service. And then with the model service, we can actually add a listener. I may have forgotten to do something, though. Yeah, I forgot one thing. And that is I forgot to put these two methods in the model service. So I actually can't access those. Oopsie doops. It's fine. That just means... yeah, it's fine. We'll just have to do that now, I guess. Have you had an interesting day? I have had a mediocre day. I don't know what I've done today, to be honest. I think I've spent most of it working on this, actually, the Gradle system. Other than that, have I done anything today? I don't know. Don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I have. So... what is this? Isn't the listener an interface? No, it's not an interface. Interesting. I thought this was no, it is an interface, but I thought it was a functional interface. Right, but it's not. Okay. That's fine. We can just do a new Gradle model listener. I guess maybe this is fine. Yeah, I suppose that's fine, because it just means that we... yeah, so what this means, actually, this is kind of beneficial, I suppose. It means that we can just have a like a loading spinner here when the reload starts, right? And then when it succeeds, it can just hide that and rebuild the tree view. So actually, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It does mean, however, that this can't extend tree view. This has to extend something else. So maybe a VBox, I think, would be fine. And then we'll just have the private final tree view, which will be the tree view. I don't think we have an RR tree view. No, we don't. I didn't think we did. Yeah, that's fine, actually. That's perfectly reasonable. The only thing we will then just need a throbber, is what they're called, which is always a crazy name every time I hear it. I don't know if that's actually what we called it, though. No, we didn't. I thought I did call it that. I thought I did actually go ahead and call it that, because I thought it was a funny name. Apparently I didn't. So, is it just called loading spinner? No? Spinner? Yes, it's just a spinner. I thought it was called a loading spinner. Okay, it's just a spinner, apparently. We'll probably go with a... I kind of want to go with a material FX progress spinner, but... no, we must have a spinner somewhere. We do have a spinner somewhere. Where do we have a spinner? Project creation. Aha. Project creation. I'm sure I called it a frobber. Did I not? 1 second. If I go scope project files. Really? I vividly remember calling it a frobber because I thought that's funny. And that's what it's actually called. But apparently I didn't. I must have just completely imagined that. Either that or I had a change of mind and I decided not to. That's interesting. Okay, so in that case, it's the... I'm trying to even remember what the pane is called. Creation pane? I think it's the onboarding creation pane. This is the one. No, not this one. Never mind. That is not the one. What is it called? Creation pane. I thought that's what it was. Aha, it's this one. Gotta be this one. Yes, it is this one. Now where's the spinner? Oh, is it creation view? Aha, here it is. Oh, I just used a material FX spinner. Interesting. I thought I did, actually. But I thought I extended that and made it a class for it. I guess I didn't. So, that's good to know. So that would just be a loading spinner then. And I don't think there's anything else we want to necessarily do with that. Now, we can have a private final. We can have a atomic reference or an atomic boolean is loading, which will be set to false. And then this will set is loading to true, and it will update the loading state. Yep, that's correct. This will set is loading to false, and this will set is loading to false, and that will set all to get all tasks. Exactly, that's actually perfect. That is exactly what I wanted it to do. Well done, Copilot. Okay, now we just need to create the update loading state, but that's pretty trivial, so all it needs to do... Yeah, I mean, that's correct. That is correct. I suppose we could probably just make this a variable, right? Rather than calling that a bunch of times. Not that it really matters, because I think it just returns... Yeah, it just returns a field anyways, but... Yeah, this actually probably is worse performance storing it as a variable. I just think it's a little bit easier to read, and just a little bit tidier, so we'll do it that way. When I say it's worse for performance, by the way, it's, you know, negligible. We're talking nanoseconds, but it is just something worth noting. Because it's just the case that here we're allocating a variable, so we're talking about a single extra allocation of a variable, which is just a pointer anyways. But regardless, it's fine. Okay, is that it? I feel like that's kind of it, I think. Is it? Could that be it? Well, let's think about it. Initially, it's not going to have anything. Yeah, initially it's not going to have anything. Okay, let me create this as a variable, because we're probably going to use this. In fact, apparently we are. Yes, we are. So we can have the model service here, which also just makes that so much cleaner. Yeah, so when we call this, does that does that go ahead and actually load the tasks, I guess is the question. Because if it does, yeah, if that loads the tasks, then this isn't going to work for the initial load thing. Although it happens asynchronously, so technically it's going to start in a loading state, right? If we do this, then it will start in the loading state, right? So update loading state. That means that it will just start as loading. So it will start with the progress spinner. And then this line here will cause it to start loading. So it won't need to call that because it's already true. And we've already called the update loading state. So that's fine. And then it will either get to here or it will get to here. 99% of the time it should get to here, right? And so loading will be set to false. It will load the tasks into the list, and then it will update the loading state. Now, the only thing worth doing here is making sure that this runs on the UI thread. It's probably doesn't matter in this particular circumstance, but it is important it kind of in the long run to make sure everything happens on the UI thread, just because we don't want race conditions or anything. And then I think that is all. Right? I mean, obviously adding those... Yeah, so I guess the other thing, obviously, the tree view doesn't have any kind of UI stuff to it. So what we can do is do this dot task tree view and set root false. Good question. Do we want to do that? I would say I would say yes. Yeah. I have just realized that this isn't going to work. And the reason that's not going to work is because tasks are per project. So like it will work, but it's not going to work if we have a multi-project setup. So like for Railroad, it wouldn't work because we have Railroad and we have Railroad Core. And Railroad Core has its own tasks, right? These are completely independent of the ones from Railroad. So that simply just wouldn't work. It wouldn't know where the tasks belong to. So that really does complicate things. Interesting. Well, that actually kind of massively complicates things. We could have a map of a project to a list of tasks, but that would kind of give us a different problem. And that's that we don't know what project is a sub-project of a different project. Right, so we wouldn't know that Railroad Core is a sub-project of Railroad because it's just a list. It's just a list of projects, right? There isn't like a tree. So I mean, a list of tasks would work if the task had a reference to the project it's from. Now, in theory, it does, right? In theory, this path parameter should contain the project inside of it. But it might not contain the project inside of it. I guess the best way to find out is just to see, right? Just see what it does. So if we come in here and literally just print the tasks, right? So task.for for task in task, print loaded task, task.path. Let's just print that and see what happens. I think that would be a good start at least. And then we know what kind of data structure we're looking for, right? Yeah, we can do there's a shortcut you can use to comment out a particular section of code. Because if I do Control/, it comments out the entire line. There's a way that you can comment out just a section. I don't know what the shortcut is though. Is it Control/? Yes, it is. It's Control/. Okay, there you go. If we run that, when it loads the Gradle project, it should tell us the path of all the tasks. Uh-oh. Project does not have a Gradle facet. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Yeah. That's kind of another problem we have. So currently the facet system, which detects like what a project is, right? So it determines, is this project a Java project? Is this project a Gradle project? Is it a Maven project? Is it a Minecraft project? Is it a Fabric project? Is it a Forge project, etc.? That process runs asynchronously, right? Because we don't want it to block the UI thread. But the problem with it running asynchronously is this is going to happen before that finishes, realistically. It just is. That's just what happens. There's nothing we can do about that. So, yeah. We really need to have some kind of event that fires when the facets are picked up. Yeah, we need to have an event that fires when the facets are detected, right? So it detects a Gradle facet, and then an event should fire, and then there should be a way that we can listen to that event. Unfortunately, that's easier said than done. Like, significantly easier said than done. If we go into where even is this? Facet Manager, I think. Yes. If we go into here, we have our detect facets method somewhere. No? Well, we have a scan, I guess. I think the method I'm looking for is actually in project. Detect. No? I thought I'm... Yeah, here it is. It's discover facets. Aha. Okay. Yeah, okay, so what we would do is in then accept, we would just fire the event. That can't be that hard, can it, guys? Surely not. It's going to be a pain in the butt. But we'll try. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. Okay. We can actually use like an event here. Honestly, like, in reality, these should be events as well, but I'm lazy. so they're not. But yes, those should be events as well. Okay, this is fine though. We can do this. So what we have to do, I really should create it in Railroad Core, but I know that someday I'm just gonna delete I'm not gonna delete Railroad Core, but I'm gonna get rid of some of it, quite a lot of it in actual fact. So I'm hesitant to put new things in there because I know I'm just gonna get rid of it. Well, actually, the events aren't even in here, are they? I don't think they're even in here. Are they? No. Wait, the events aren't in Railroad Core? Oh god, please don't tell me they're in the plugin API. I wouldn't have been stupid enough to do that, would I? Would I? Please don't say I would. Events. Classes. Oh god. Events. Go to implementations. I actually was stupid enough to put them in the plugin API. Okay. Okay. Right. Why did I do that? That's really annoying because that means we can't have just events, just normal events. Wouldn't it be easy to move them, at least if they or well, yeah. It wouldn't be that bad. Well, it kind of will. Yeah, it would be interesting, let's put it like that. The thing is, if I'm going to rewrite it anyways, there's no point me putting it in the plugin API. Because in order to update the plugin API, I have to push it, I have to build it, and then I have to publish it to the Maven, and then I have to update the version in here to use that new version from the Maven. It's just not worth it. So I'm just going to put it in here, because eventually plugins are just going to have access to the entirety of Railroad, but not going to have that plugin API intermediary layer. It will just be in Railroad. So I think it's better if I just start putting stuff in Railroad now. There's no need to update the plugin API if I'm just going to yeet the plugin API. Right, that just doesn't make sense. So I think that it's fine. We're just going to put it in Railroad and it will be all okay. Let's create a new class. Let's call this the what do I even call this? Facet detected event. I need to redo the facet system at some point. Not entirely redo it, but currently they all, like, this only runs when they're all found, every single one of them, all at the same time, which isn't ideal. Like, it should really fire when each one is found. So it finds the Java one, fires the event, moves on, keeps trying to find the next one, moves on, etc. But currently it does them all at once, and it waits for them to all be found, which is why it takes a while. So I need to rewrite that at some point. It would be trivial to do, but I just haven't. Yeah, it's just one of those things I haven't got around to doing yet. Okay, I might as well make this implement event, right? I think that's perfectly reasonable to do because, you know, it isn't anything. There's nothing in there. I think that's fine. This, yeah, I mean, that's it, to be honest. It can be a record. That's it. That's actually all the entire file is. So then all we do in here, right, is we I don't remember how to do this. I think it's in services, services.eventBus. No, is it railroad.eventBus? It is. Oh, of course it is. Yeah. So I just publish a new facet detected event, pass in the project, aka this, and facet, and that is it. So then all I need to do is in here, rather than doing this, is I say railroad.eventBus.subscribe. I subscribe to a facet detected event, and then I say on the event, what we will do is we will say if event.project is not equal to project, return. Yeah, that's reasonable. It's just like that though. Do you want to do like this, or do you want to use the equals method? I mean, there shouldn't be multiple like project instances for the same project. So I think I actually am going to compare memory addresses, because that should be fine. That shouldn't cause an issue. And then, well, facet is equal event dot facet. This is not correct. So I can do if facet type is equal to, I think it's in facet manager. Yes, here we go. Facet manager dot Gradle. And then non-match tab.content instance of a Gradle tool window paint. That's fine for now. It won't be ideal in the future, but that's fine for now. Yeah, and then that is actually, that's fine. Obviously we're gonna have to have like a facet removed event or something in the future. I don't know how that would work, but it'll be something we'll have to have in the future, in which case we'll have to do basically the invert of this, right? But that's fine. We can worry about that at the time. No point worrying about that now. The other thing is I need to do the exact same thing here. So I think we can just do that in here as well. Yeah. Oh, the only problem is we don't have the main split. What is the main split? Right pane. What is right pane? Right pane. Oh, that's this one. Right. But what? I don't remember how this works. Original index 2. Oh, because this is for the icon. Right, I see. Oh. Yeah. Okay. The problem is I know this isn't going to work in the future, but I can't really future-proof it because it's not going to work in the future. Like, I never... The problem with this system is I never designed it in a way for it to be dynamic. I don't know why I didn't do that, but for some reason I didn't. Probably because it would have taken me a lot longer and I just wanted to get something there and working. So I didn't design it in that way, which means it kind of doesn't really work how I need it to work, but there isn't much I can do about that. When I come back and rewrite it, I'll just have to come back and rewrite this as well. Luckily, we don't have anything else in the right at the moment. The only thing we have is going to be this Gradle tab paint, so it's not going to cause us any problems for, you know, months probably. But, you know, it's fine. because this icon bar factory doesn't even, I don't think this is even dynamic. Like if I close the Gradle tab, I don't think this even gets rid of the icon from the bar. It should actually even just get rid of the bar, but it doesn't, I don't believe. It is what it is. Okay, let's test that and see if that works then, because that should work, but we'll have to have a look. Okay. So. Okay, it didn't error. We have a loading. Is it gonna load though? No. Why wouldn't it load though? It could. Oh wait, I might know why. Let me close some things first of all, because I have quite a few things open. I'm just kind of thinking, because this adds a listener to the model service, but I don't think that should matter. Maybe this doesn't refresh the model. Maybe I'm completely imagining it refreshing the model. Actually, it probably doesn't, now that I think about it. It should, but I don't think it does. Go into here. Refresh model. Let's go to super method. Let's go one usage. Where are you called? Fetch tasks for project. Here you go. So if we find this, that's called here, which is called by this, which happens. Yeah, that only happens in run configurations. So, yeah, okay. So what that means is what we're going to have to do is, admittedly, get all tasks should. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? That's an interesting situation. Okay, well, what we can do is we can just call model service dot refresh model, at least for now. Yeah, I guess that technically kind of means, well, no, that's fine, I guess. Okay, so let's see what that does. It loads. Okay, it loaded. Okay. So, yeah, okay, so they all have the colon, and there's nothing here, right? So there's nothing like in between this colon and here, which there would be if it was in a sub project. Are there any sub projects? No. We need to test this with a sub project. You know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to open Railroad in Railroad. Hope you guys are ready for this. We're going to have some Railroadception. So if we open projects, and I'm just going to quickly go find Railroad. Because if we open Railroad in Railroad, we should be able to see Railroad core show up in the tasks. So select folder. It might not like this. It might really not like this. But we're gonna see what happens. Okay, it loaded. Aha! That's what I was hoping for. So now it shows Railroad core for the tasks that are inside Railroad core, and then for the other tasks, like these ones, it doesn't show that. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Now, the problem that gives us is that this is not what I thought it would show. I thought it would show like IntelliJ shows it, so like it's in a folder, but it hasn't done that. So no, I'm a little bit. Can you? I don't even know. Can you have folders inside folders? Because now I don't know what these folders are for. Like what do they represent? Do we have anything else in here that we can use to figure out? We have group. I don't know what the group is. Let's figure out what the group is. That might... These might be considered a group, right? Maybe. So if we do group plus... I don't want task.name. I just want task.path. But we don't want the colon. Because in... let's just do a space for now, so that we can see what that does. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that the group is this. That would kind of make sense, I think. So... Aha! Yes. Maybe. Some of them are null. Don't know why some of them, quite a few of them are null, actually. You know, I'm realizing that the null ones don't exist. Oh, the null ones IntelliJ calls other. Look, compile Java, compile test Java, components, dependent components, model, prepare Kotlin build script model. Yes, okay. So the group is the folder, the path is the project, and then the name is, well, the name, right? So, okay. Also, why is shadow capitalized? But none of the other ones are. Oh no, build setup is as well. Oh, that's why. Interesting. I wonder why some of these aren't, like, why are the default ones not capitalized? Kind of weird, right? Like, surely you would just capitalize all of them. I don't know. Kind of weird. Should we capitalize them? I mean, we could probably do that, right? You just substring the first character and put it in uppercase. I think let's do that. It'll look a little bit nicer. I don't know why IntelliJ doesn't. Oh no, weird. Okay, but that's fine. That's good. So, using that information, we can now construct the tree. Now, I don't know how to construct the tree. But the benefit of this is that the path is per project, right? And then, so that means the path and the group combined is a unique identifier for that specific task, right? Because they can't have the same path and the same group. Like, there can't be multiple with the same path and the same group. So what that means is that we don't actually have to worry about having some different data structure. We can just have a list of tasks. And that basically does everything for us. So, okay. How do we do this? Okay, I guess what we can do is we can add a listener to the tasks. Right, so when the task change, right? So we do task.add listener. And we're going to do a list change listener, right? So a list, like this, a list change listener. Change, boom, like that. Yeah, I mean, this is basically what we're going to look for, right? Something like this. You're not sure. We're going to go what Copilot suggests to an extent. And we're gonna create a tree builder. That kind of does make sense because there is a level of complexity here that is maybe a little bit beyond the UI, right? So if we go back to here, UI, let's create a new class and let's call it the task tree builder. And what is that method static or no? I don't think it was it? Because we created a new instance. Is there a reason it's not static? I don't know. I don't think so, but oh well. Okay, so what does this do? Root for task and tasks, path parts is equal task.get path.split, like that. Tree item current node is equal root. For I in path.length, string path is equal I. Tree item is find child node. If child node is equal null. If I is the last element, then it's a tree, and then it's a task element. Oh, I see. Okay. I kind of see what it's doing. I think that's probably correct, right? But this isn't a task. This needs to be a Gradle folder, task folder element. That's it. And this isn't correct either. This is just a task element, like that, which takes in required type string. Oh, that's a good point. So this actually does need to take in a task, not a string. So it needs to take in a Gradle task model. And the reason for that is because we're going to have the context menu, right? And we need to be able to double click it and stuff. So we can do task.getName. It's actually just task.name, I think, because it's a record. Yes, it is. Yes, okay, that's what I was thinking. So on hover, we can also give it the description as well. Okay, this is all coming together. I'm starting to understand basically how IntelliJ does this, right? Okay, that's good. So we also probably want to get the task, right? So let's just store the task in here. And then let's say this what task is equal task. And then we're going to do at getter. Alternatively, we could have like get description stuff, maybe. I don't know. We'll decide later on. And then this should probably just take in. Yeah, this one's a lot more interesting because we don't have the actual project. What does this do? Oh, that's interesting. Technically, we can do that because I did make Gradle settings, which does not that. Oh no, it's just in Gradle facet data actually. We have the path to the build file, so we can actually do that as well. There's no reason why we couldn't do that. Oh wait, no, that wouldn't work for sub projects. We have I'm trying to remember where it is. Is it Gradle environment that has this? I don't remember how I handled sub-projects, but we can get back to that, you know, when we need that. For now, I think this is fine, right? Okay, that's fine. So what does this do? That finds a child node. That is correct, and this just needs to be task.path as well. Boom. Okay, this is all fine. Actually, Copilot actually did that really well. Congratulations, Copilot. I'm very proud of you. Okay, and then is it going to do this correct as well? So what's this done? So for tree item child in parent.get children, it gets the element. If element is an instance of a folder, and the folder.name is equal the name, then return child. Why? Wait. For each child in the parent's children, get the element. If the element is a folder, oh, okay, and the name is equal to the name, return the child. Okay, right, I see. I completely missed the name check. Yeah. Okay, so okay, but why don't we want non-folders, I guess is the question then. Not sure. There is one thing we should do actually, and that is in here we want to say name is equal null. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say railroad dot Gradle dot what is it, tool window? I'm gonna have to check. Where did I put it? Is it in here? Railroad.Gradle.toolWindow.tasks .other or name, which just means that it won't error when the name is null. It will instead just delegate back to this. Now, yeah, only thing to note about this is obviously that does mean that the name of the folder isn't translatable other than this one. That might not work actually because of that. I think let's just have them all in English. Well, See, I feel like they should be translated, but they can't be translated because the groups that are returned just aren't translated, and we can't add translations for them because they're dynamic, right? They're dynamic dependent on the project. Some projects might not have application because they might not have that associated plugin. So we kind of can't translate these. And it would be weird to only have other be translated, right? That would be so weird. So I think let's just not translate any of them. Now what we will do is we will go ahead and create a method that can like capitalize this name, at least. So the only the only problem if we don't translate that is that when we eventually have right to left languages, right, like Arabic or something, I think it does mean that it will be in reverse. I don't think that's correct for it to do that. Wait, no it won't. Wait, will it? I'm trying to remember. Trying to remember how JavaFX handles it. It might work actually. We might be lucky and it might work. We'll have to see later on how this pans out because we'll see. Translate other. I strongly disagree. To be honest, I think it would be weird to just have other be translated and everything else isn't. Why would you do that, right? That just I don't agree, to be honest. Okay, that's not quite what I wanted. I want it to handle the spaces as well, of each word. Yeah. That also can just be that. What does this do? Let me just read it first before I go ahead and blindly accept Copilot. So it splits by spaces for each word in the words. If it's not empty, then it appends uppercase at the first character, plus the rest of the word, plus a space. That's fine. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do, to be honest. So, capitalize each first letter of each word name. That's fine. Okay, fantastic. So, that will now do that properly. Now, project element is a bit of an interesting one. So, what this does is, see, this uses the path, but that's not actually correct because the path is the project, right? So, oh, that's interesting. So what we'll have to do... Yeah, this actually isn't correct then, is it? Because this just takes the current node, but because it's using the path, that's not going to work. See, we have to somehow, like, insert the group into... Oh, see, that's going to be interesting. Okay, I guess we can make this a project element, right? If we make that the project element, and then when we create the task element, we go ahead and use the group, right? So if we're at the last one, then we've hit the task, right? So then what we can do is we can grab the group. So we can go string group is equal task.group. And then we go element. How do we want to do this? Well, we want to create the group element, and then inside the group. Whoa, that's... Man, this is going to be tough. The problem is because the project, right, which is the path, contains the name of the task and the project, but it doesn't contain the group. Whereas we want it to be project group name, we're given project name group. So Copilot is actually kind of wrong. What we could do is we could have yeah, what we could do... Okay, this might work. So if we have... Let's get rid of this as well. Let's have a map of a... What are we mapping, though? I guess we don't really need to map anything. Okay, but the route is just the name of the project, right? But we could have multiple routes. Well, Okay, now that I think of it, actually, if we're not in Railroad Core, the route is just going to be a colon or blank. So in here, we actually need to take in the project as well. And then... no, we need the Gradle project. Which we have. We have a Gradle project model. Yeah, so then what we can do in here is we can do name is equal null or name dot is blank. Then we're going to use... Yeah, let me just put those in brackets so that's easier to read. So then we can use project.name. Yeah, so here we have project.path. And the project, the thing is the project has a list of tasks. So do we maybe use the projects instead of using the tasks? But then that doesn't work because then that's a tree of projects, not a tree of tasks. Oh, good lord, this is getting complicated. Okay. Also, I spelled change wrong, apparently. That's nice to know, isn't it? I mean, we're not even using change, but oh well. Okay. Well, let's pass in tasks.addListener. Yeah. The problem is when this happens, we don't have the Gradle project. And kind of more importantly, we don't have the project that a task belongs to. Maybe that's an issue with the Gradle system, though. If I look at Gradle Model Mapper, I think it's called. This is where I kind of create the tasks and stuff. I'm just wondering if when we create the task, do we have access to the project it came from? I think the answer might actually be yes, because if we look in here, we have project. So I could pass in task project, right? And then I can go in here, I can take in the Gradle project model, which is the project model. Wait, no, that's not correct. It's a Gradle project, which is the Gradle thing, not the... Yeah, if I do that, right, and then I just have in here a reference to the Gradle project. The thing is, we need a reference to the Gradle project model, which is kind of hard to do because the model's created here. Oh, I know what we could do. Okay, wait, this might work. This might work. 1 second. I'm cooking. Let me cook. This is the Gradle project model, right? So if we do this, we can create the model before we get the tasks, because the model just takes in a list of tasks, right? So we can add to that list later on, that's fine. So therefore, this can take in the Gradle project model like that, which therefore means that this can take in the project like that. And as long as I do Gradle project model project, I also need to add that here, then that now has the project. So now each task can have access to the project, in theory. Therefore, we now have... Okay, so this is kind of not correct anymore, because this isn't taking into account that, right? But that's fine, because... Well, kind of more importantly, I guess the reason we're doing this is... because this now can actually have the project, right? So that will actually work. Which therefore means we don't need the name. That's just not a thing we need. And so we can just do project.name. And we could say, maybe if that's equal to null, then we could just say unknown or untitled project, or unnamed. This one's unnamed project, so we'll go with that, unnamed project, or project.name, right? That one then works. So now that takes that in, and more importantly, that means that now in here, has it picked it up? No. Okay, I think what we could do is we can have a map of Gradle project model to a list of Gradle tasks, right? So just basically split this list of tasks up into a map of the project to a list of tasks, right? So if I do that, then I can do task by project, collectors dot grouping by model dot project. So then what that means is that I can go through this, I can get the project, I can get the tasks, which allows me to create the project node, which is a project element, like that. I can add that to the root, and then we can go through each of the tasks and basically do what I had before. Is this correct? We're gonna have to go through and have a look. So for task in project task, we get the path segments, which splits it by the colon. Current node is the project node, so then we skip the first empty segment resulting from leading colon. Is that correct? No. So we don't have this anymore, right? We don't now need to deal with the path because the path is only for the projects. So actually what we need is just the group. We don't. This actually simplifies things a lot now that I think about things. Because now we just have a string group, which is equal to task.group, right? So parent node is the project node, and then yeah, Copilot doesn't quite understand, but this is a lot simpler now, because what we then have inside of the parent node is we need to try and basically do this, right? So what does this take in? This takes in... Why is this erroring? Okay, well, we do actually basically want that, right? So then we say... was that fine? Yeah, I think so. Right? Well, no, all we want a tree item of the element, which I forgot what that's called. Gradle task tree elements, that's it. Don't know why I called it that, that's a weird name. So then we go, we can call this the folder node is equal to a find child node, which I'm going to call find folder node. Like that. I think it's erroring because of this. Yeah, that's why. Okay. So that finds the folder node. So if that's null, we then need to create that, right? So that's now a new tree item. And then we add that to the project node. And then all we need to do is add a new tree item to the folder, right? So that's then the task node. We add that there. So now what we have is the folders, and inside the folders, we either find the folder. If it doesn't exist, we create the folder, and then inside the folder, we add the task, which will either add it to the created folder or the new folder, or the existing folder, and that automatically adds it to the project. Yeah, so that's the root, and we're not showing the root, right? So in here, I think we chose to not show the root, so that's fine. So this is just like an empty element, so it's just a null value, I think. So just go through that. It'll go through each of the projects, for each of the tasks. It gets the group. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, we could probably simplify this and turn this for loop here. Like we could have a map of group to a list of tasks. I don't think that would really help. I mean, I guess it means we don't have to loop inside find folder node, though. Is that a good idea? Maybe? Maybe. I think that is probably a good idea. And the only problem is you can't have a null key, can you? Can you have a null key in a map? I think it depends on the implementation, right? I don't know if a hash map does. New hash. Or, well, I guess the thing is... Wait, actually, it did just say that, didn't it? I think in the back of my head, I read something about null values. Yeah, okay. Unmodifiable maps, they disallow null keys and values. Is this a null map? Oh, is this a unmodifiable map, I mean? Let's forget, produces, There are no guarantees on the type, immutability, serializability, or thread safety of the map or list objects returned. Okay, so that's basically not what we want then, right? We need a way to be able to turn it into the specific map we want. I don't know how you do that, though. Probably using the collector? Maybe? So this just uses to list. Wait, what do you mean it uses to list? Grouping by to list. Oh yeah, because we're turning it into a... Wait. Was that right? Yeah, because that's for the... Yeah, I think so. But what we want is... Yeah, I guess technically we want this, but we don't want to list. We want collect... no. Wait, how do you do... Oh, wait, is to list modifiable? No. I didn't think so. You can use to collection, though, which does do a new one. So that does array list new. Wait, but this doesn't modify the map, does it? So that can be collectors.toList. What we want to modify is this parameter, I believe, which is hashmap : new. I think. Yes. When can I make a mod in this IDE? You can now. Why? Technically, I mean, you can. I wouldn't advise it, but you can do it. Right? There's no reason why you can't do it. Okay. Okay, so what we want is we want to do tree item of folder thingy thing, which will be the group node is equal to a new tree item of a new folder element. I guess I should rename this to group element, because they're all called groups in this context, right? So there you go, group element, and then we add the group. Why doesn't it like that? Provided. Oh, this actually needs to be. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why that's. I'm going to rename this as well, actually, to get rid of the tree. I think the tree's unnecessary. Oh, I see. We can't do that because we have the task element. Yeah, okay. Sure. So then we just need to go through each of these. Yeah, we don't need to do all of this. This is unnecessary garbage. Completely unnecessary garbage. We just do that. There we go. I think that's it. Right? Maybe? Should we try it? I think let's give it a go, chat. Let's see what happens. Obviously, we're going to need to add context menus, hover stuff, all of that, but that's fine. That shouldn't take us that long. This is the hard part, so let's see. Okay, that was we have an error. Stack Overflow? Really? Interesting. Oh. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because of so the project module project model has a reference to the list of tasks, but then the task has a reference to the project. So when it tries to calculate the hash code, it tries to calculate the hash code of the project, which tries to calculate the hash code of the task, and then it just goes infinitely, right? So can we override the hash code or no? I mean, kind of. Well, I guess that would work, wouldn't it? Would it? Interesting. I mean, it kind of would work. Like, maybe if I did, plus, not project.hashcode, but project.path.hashcode, right? So then it's using basically the path of the specific task and the path of the path of the project's hash code as well. I think that will work. Should we give it a go? Let's give it a go. Okay. Good start. Okay. Okay, it errored again, didn't it? Yes. Element cannot be mapped to a null key. Interesting. Element cannot be matched. So it, But I thought a new hash map can have null keys. Oh, no, it can't. But of course it can't, because it needs to do the hash code of the key. That's the entire point of a hash map. So of course that's not going to work. What Java map implementations allow null keys? Java map allow null keys. There must be an implementation that allows this. Maps don't allow duplicate keys, but allows duplicate values. Hashmap and linked hashmap allow null keys and null values. Well, clearly that's not true. I'm sorry, is Google lying to me? Why does it, apparently hash maps allow null as a key. But this very clearly states that's not true. Unless this doesn't allow null keys for some reason. It doesn't say that it doesn't allow null keys, but I am getting the impression that it doesn't allow null keys. I don't really know. Let me ask Copilot if it knows. How can I write this? How can I rewrite is to allow for null keys in the app. I mean, obviously we could just turn this into a for loop, right? If we want to, but I'd like to stream it. I like streams. They make me very happy. So hopefully it lets us stream it, but it might just honestly rewrite it as a for loop, which, you know, it is what it is if it does that. Okay, this is what I had, and this didn't work. Because I thought that might be the case. Isn't that exactly what I had? Or... I swear that is exactly what I had. Is it? Now I'm actually not sure. Now I'm doubting myself. I'm going to have to check. I'm going to go back in the stream a little bit. I'm pretty sure that is exactly what I had. Like, character for character. Exactly what I had. Okay, I'm going to go back. I don't have to go back very far. Grouping by group. New hand. Yeah, that is exactly what I had. I'm just going to give it the error, I suppose. This still doesn't work. Can I do shift enter? Yes. Good. I'm glad. Let's see. I think it must be an issue with collector rather than yeah, collectors.grouping by requires non-null keys. Map null groups to blah blah blah. Ugh. Okay. Sure. I guess we can do that. It's not the end of the world. Okay. Also, friggin' name your variables, Copilot. Come on. Yeah, I guess that would work. It just means that in here, we just need to look for dot equals name. So we just need to look for no group equals name. Which I think is fine. I imagine you can't actually have this in... I mean, I'm sorry, but if a Gradle plugin has this as the group for their task, then they're just retarded, right? That's a dumb thing to do. So, yeah, that's not even an edge case I'm remotely concerned about. I guess let's just try that. Let's see if this works, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see. We're going to try Railroad because we have a sub project. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, it has worked. They're not ordered though. I would like them to be ordered, you know, alphabetically. And I guess the other issue is that Railroad Core isn't inside of Railroad. I don't know how you would fix that though. Yeah. I don't know how you would fix that. Because even if we look at the path, right? Oh no, I guess the path was... It was like colon railroad dash core colon task name, right? Compared to a normal one, which was just colon task name. So possibly if we have... I'm curious how a sub-project of a sub-project works. Like, is it... Will there be another colon? So would it be like Railroad Core, Railroad Plugin, API colon, right? Would it be like that? Also, this is pretty hard to read. Let me do that. Yeah, so would it be like this? Or would it just be like this? I assume it would be like that, right? But how... Yeah. That kind of complicates things again, because... We can't just have tasks by project. We instead need to have some kind of tree structure. Like, it's funny because effectively we just need to build another tree, right? Even though we're literally trying to build a tree in this method, we actually need to build 2 trees in this method, right? We need to build a tree that like represents the structure, and then we need to build the tree that represents the UI. Because otherwise I don't know how we would do this. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there must be a better way of doing this, rather than... Right, like there has to be a better way to do this. I'm gonna try and cheat. Also, are we not using this anymore? No, we're not using this anymore. That can go. Which makes this kind of silly being in its own class, but I think having like sub-projects is gonna make this more complicated. I'm gonna cheat anyways, and I'm gonna see if Copilot knows what to do. Can I use 5.1? Yes, I can. Lovely. So, like, what are we trying to actually do? I want this to work so that sub projects will live inside of their parent project. I can use the issue is we have to use the task in order to get the path of the project. We can't use the project to get that, which is a little bit annoying. So I can use Gradle task model #path to get a colon separated path to the projects to the task where colon task name represents a task in the root project and colon sub project colon task name represents a task inside a sub project inside the root project. Can you implement this whilst keeping the roots in the tree? Let's see. Oh, enable. Can I get my prompt back as well? Can you actually not get the prompt back? Damn, man. I was going to try and give it to Codex to see if it could do any better. So, group task by project. Map project path to a project model for lookup. So, task by project, and then that collects to a map using the project path, which is just project.path. Okay, right. I don't know why it did that then, but whatever. Okay, and then map that to a tree item. Okay, it might have done this correctly. I guess we can just try it and see. I really would like my prompt back though. Can I not get that back? Because I think Codex could do a better job than this. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, I just think it could probably be better. Can I actually just not get it back? Copy. No. Preview? What did that do? I don't know what that did. You can't get it back, huh? Okay. Fine. I won't get it back then. Okay, so let's look through this. Let me stop this so I can get a little more space on my screen. So we group the tasks by the project, which is exactly what we had before, right? And then we're mapping... Okay, I'm gonna fix this. So this is Gradle task model, colon, path. No? Why doesn't it like that? Is that not correct? Oh, it's project.path. Assuming project has... No. Bro, it didn't listen to me. Oh my god. I literally told it that the task has the path, not the project. And then it straight up gone ahead and ignored me. So no, this is not gonna work. This isn't gonna work. Because, yeah, this isn't going to work, because when it calls this, it takes in the path, which is what it's splitting by, but it's splitting that by, if we look path is equal project path, so it uses the project. Go back to what we had before. I'm going to ask Codex, which means I'm going to have to retype out my entire prompt. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh! Finally, I've got access to... Oh, wait, never mind. Wait. Never mind. Okay, I've broken Codex. Okay. Okay. It's fine. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn friggin' approvals off, because even though I trust Codex more than Gemini, I don't trust these anymore. For those who are not aware, Gemini basically tried to delete all my code a few hours ago, so I don't trust them anymore. I'm gonna put it on read-only mode. Okay. Can you help me rewrite this so that it works for projects inside of projects. Basically, I'm just gonna have to rewrite what I had before, which is why I wish I could have just copied it, but oh well. Basically, Gradle task models have a path which is in the following format: task name represents a task that is inside the root project, and sub project task name represents a task that is inside a sub project which is inside the root project. Yeah, so subproject task name represents a task that is inside a subproject which is inside the root project. So I need the tree to represent this structure, unlike right now where all of the projects live at top level. Let's see. I have confidence that this will understand what I want better than Copilot, maybe. Because it should look at Gradle task model. It should actually read Gradle task model and Gradle project model, right? Let's see. Okay, it's reading Gradle model mapper as well. So yeah, so it's going into a few more files than, well, obviously Copilot only had access to this file, but I feel like I explained it quite well. I don't know why Copilot completely and utterly ignored me, because I quite clearly said that that the Gradle task model had a path inside of it, not the Gradle project model. Unless I did say Gradle project model and just mistyped it, I don't know. I don't think I did. Okay. Let's see. Come on. Come on, Codex, you got this. I believe. Okay. Okay, come on. One thing I will say, Gemini is a lot faster than Codex. But Gemini, I don't know, I found Gemini to not be as good with kind of more complex tasks, so. Okay. I don't know what it's done, admittedly. Bro, no way it's done the exact same thing. Bro. Wait. Wait. Copilot might have been correct. Wait, the project module, it does have a colon separated path. I thought this was super complicated because the project model didn't have the colon separated path. It only had the actual path. But it does have a colon separated path. Oh my god. Copilot might have actually been correct. I think it actually was correct. Okay, but I think this is better code than what Copilot wrote. So, you know, I just got to clean it up because none of them write it how I like it to be written, which is kind of annoying. And the other thing I have to do, which is really annoying, is I have to fix the friggin' line separators. But apart from that, I mean, let's go through this and have a look then. And see what we think. So, we get task by project, which is what we had before. Then it collects these by path, which is the colon separated path. And then it does ensure project node, which I assume creates the nodes for that project. So does this actually work? Yes, because this is recursive. So this recursively will go through. Okay. Okay. I think that works. It looks right. I mean, it's hard to tell without actually running it, right? So, no, obviously we'll see in a minute. And that creates the project element. Okay. So then it goes through each of the entries, and then it adds the tasks to project node, which hopefully still adds the folders though. Yeah, so task by group. So it creates the group, and then inside the group it creates all of the tasks, which is what we had before. So this, I think this part here is actually exactly unchanged from what we had before. It's just in a different method name, which is fine, because it's used differently, so that's fine. Yeah, it's really not that much different from what we had before, to be honest. Or the only thing that's different is this, which just actually goes and creates the project nodes. And then also this, which gets parent project path. Yeah, so it just, yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so should we try it? I think that might have worked. Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. I'd love to get this done today. If we can get this done today, that would be amazing. But I don't know if that's going to happen, guys. Let's see. And once we've done this, we should be able to move pretty quickly. Okay. 1.21 tutorial mode. Oh, I opened the wrong project. Also, why are there two IDEs? Are they... Why are there two IDEs? Interesting. Why are there two IDEs? How is that even possible? Could it be the capitalization, maybe? It could be the capitalization, couldn't it? Because... Yeah, I suppose because when it checks if the group already exists or not, it checks it by that exact name rather than using the capitalization to figure that out, right? So what we should really do is we should call this first, right? I think that's probably what we need to do. Yeah, so we can just do name there, and then we can take this and go back into the tree builder, and when it gets the group name, yeah, so here basically it just needs to call this method on group, and that should fix it. We'll check 1.21 tutorial mod again, and then we'll check railroad afterwards. Yeah, okay, that's worked. Okay, good. Okay, we do need to order them as well. We'll do that in a second. Let's see if railroad works or not. Because obviously that's exactly how it was before, right? That's basically unchanged. So if we go into railroad, okay, nice. Okay, fantastic. Good. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get the icons in there, right? So that we know that this is a project and this is a project, and that this is a group, right? And that these are tasks. So we need those icons in there. That should be trivial. That shouldn't be too hard. And then, what was the other thing I said we needed to do? We need to make this extend like the entire way down as well. I mean, that should be pretty easy. Let's do those things first. Oh, we need to order them. That was it. Yes. Okay. Let's go one by one then. So let's get the icons in. I think that'll just help a lot to kind of see what this is going to become. So yeah, here we go. And then we create the class, public static class, tree cell, which extends. I don't know what this extends. Is it just it's just a tree cell, isn't it? Yeah. Just takes that in, and then yeah, Copilot's basically done the work here. So this just needs to be a new font icon, which just takes that in. I think we can probably just have a font icon in here. Just because we might want to like set some things on that. So then we can just do icon, and then we can do icon.setLiteral. Can we do, yeah, set icon code? I thought that was a thing. Trying to lie to me. There you go. Probably need to do that before we set the graphic. Maybe, I guess it doesn't really matter, but it might be something we want to do. Set icon size 16. That's just the only thing I thought we might want to do. Isn't there a constructor actually that takes that in? No, there isn't. I thought there was, but there isn't. Okay. So that should work. That should give us those. Next, let's make it fill up the whole thing, right? That's kind of important. So I don't know where that would happen. Probably it just in here, I imagine. So yeah, probably just doing like task tree view, dot height property, and bind that Can I not bind it? Oh, no, I need to do a pref height property. And then bind that to height property. Okay, perfect. I also am going to do that in where this is used. Oops. In here. Because I'm not convinced that the tab pane itself... I mean, it should do, but I'm just not entirely sure that the tab pane is actually... well... I mean, it should, but... Actual tab pane. Yeah, I think it should, actually. I don't think that would be the issue. Okay. I think this will work. So we'll try that. And then the other thing is just get them ordered. So I don't necessarily know how we would do that because it's a map, right? I want the elements to be ordered alphabetically. How can I do that? Make sure everything's saved. Okay. How do you not get burnt out on this project since you're pretty much the only one working on it and it being quite a large project? I think it's just because I'm constantly working on completely different things, right? Like, well, I guess not completely different things, but, you know, like, this is very different to working on run configurations. Like, they're just very different things. So, you know. I think that's why. Let's quickly see what it's done. What has it done? Group entry, sort tree. Comparing. Okay. fx collections.sort. Get children. And then for each child, sort the tree. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah. I just want that like that, because otherwise that's a bit weird. So that just recursively goes through all of the items in the tree and then it sorts them. That's fine. I don't see a problem with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just working on different stuff all the time, I guess. And I like where we're at. I think we're a lot. I mean, we are objectively significantly further than we've ever been. So yeah, I think we're just it's coming along well. So that helps significantly, of course. Okay, let's see if this works. It should work, but we'll have a look. Course. So we'll go railroad. Give it a minute to find the run config. The facets, I mean. Now I'm thinking of run configurations. There you go. So we've got the icons. They are ordered. And they are also... Yeah, nice. Okay, now the only issue, I guess, is that the projects are going to be like intertwined with those. Oh, and also the height has worked as well. That was the other thing. Yeah, I guess that's the only problem, isn't it? So we still want to have projects be at the bottom, right? So basically the order of items should be... what do we say? Do we say tasks, then groups, then projects? Or do we say groups, tasks, projects? or I know projects shouldn't be at the top. Right, that would kind of just be a pain in the ass, to be honest. I think IntelliJ, well, I guess we don't need to necessarily worry about tasks, but because you can't have multiple groups, right? So you can't have groups inside groups. And so there's never the problem of ordering tasks. So I guess tasks don't really matter. I think let's go tasks, groups, projects. I think that's a fair order. Can you also ensure that tasks go before groups, groups go before tasks go before groups, and groups go before projects. Or I shouldn't say before, I should say above. Okay. The other thing we can do is add colors to these. That should be pretty simple. All we need to do is, if we go into here, and in here, what we can do is we can add a public abstract string, which will be the get style class. Okay. Yeah, and then all we have to do is just override these and return Gradle project element. I'm going to do Gradle tasks project element, just because I think that's a little more unique. Gradle task group element, and then this will be Gradle tasks task element, which is a little bit of a tongue twister to say, but that's fine because we don't need to say it very often. And that just means that we can add a color to these, and we can also style them individually as well if we wanted to. So if we go into here, we're going to need a new thing for this. So let's create a new file. Let's call this Gradle tasks.css. Oops, too many S's. Rename. Okay, so then we can do Gradle task project element. So this will just be green, right? So actually exactly the same as oh, I thought I had a I had a Gradle one in here. Where did I put that then? Wait, 1 second. In here... Oh, they're not coloured. I probably should have made those coloured, shouldn't I? Actually, none of these are coloured. Oops. Oopsie doops. Also, this doesn't work, but... yeah, I never got around to fixing that. That's fine, though. Not really that important. Okay, I thought that was coloured. Interesting. Okay, how do you colour them again? It's a specific thing. Yeah, FX icon color. So -fx -icon -color, which is no. Okay, I'll have a look online. Gradle icon brand guidelines, because they have a specific color you're meant to use. Or most companies usually do. I just need to turn dark read off, because otherwise it's not going to show me the right colors. Huh, apparently they don't have a color. Okay, but they do, it's just not showing. Okay, they don't actually have like a specific color you're meant to use, apparently. At least not for the icon. Okay, but I'm gonna use the, well, see, I guess that's true actually, because IntelliJ just have it be like blue, which isn't the normal color. Okay, I'm gonna use I'm gonna grab a color picker, which I think Power Toys has a color picker, but I don't remember what the shortcut is. Oh right, I can't use Power Toys because I broke it. Oh no, I can. Here we go. I thought I broke it, but apparently not. Power Toys has a color picker. What's the shortcut? Win Shift C. So if I go Win Shift C, then I can grab the color. Okay, and it is that. And I'm gonna say that this is not. This is important. I always read this as not important, but it actually means is important, which is so confusing. But here we are. Can I? Well, what did I just have open? Why did I even close it? I don't know. No, not that. It's this. Okay. So Gradle task group element, which is just the folder, right? I don't know what color this is. I'm gonna have to look it up. Text color. Okay, that's done it as like a yellow. I guess that's okay. It's not bad. Yeah. I'm gonna change it to this though, which is, it's still yellow. It's just a different yellow. Okay, what's this one? Blue. I mean, we'll see. It's kind of really hard without actually seeing them, so we'll have to see what that looks like. Did I ask? I did ask it to do something. I was thinking, did I ask it to do something? Yes, I did. I asked it to do this. Okay, yeah, so it just adds another thing to the comparator. That's fine. Oh, it hasn't worked though. It hasn't worked at all. Item. What is item? What is item? Did it mess something up, or? Oh, it's talking about the tree item. Why is that an object, actually? I don't know. Is that correct? It shouldn't be an object, right? Can you do, is this a generic issue? If I do that, does that work? It does, but it doesn't like that. Oh, because you have to compare... Oh, I see. So does it just have to be like that then? It should implement comparable. Oh. I see. Okay. Wait, is it because this is two things? What does it want? Function. No, it's not two things. I don't know. Actually. You know what? I'm gonna ask Codex to fix it. Since it wrote it. It's probably just gonna cast it to a tree item. If I had to guess. If I had to guess what it's gonna do, that's probably what I'm guessing it will do. Or that. Though I tried that, didn't I? Oh, but I didn't, oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so the integers... Man, I need to learn to use how to use comparators more. I've never used them. But they are extremely powerful. But okay, that's good to know. I mean, the other option, of course, is that I implement comparable on one of these, but this is fine. I mean, yeah, this is fine. I don't see a problem with that. Okay, so that should work. What was the other thing we were doing again? I forgot. Oh yeah, we were doing colors. Which is fine. What I will do real quick, one thing I did forget is I need to add some style classes to everything in here. So for example, get style class dot add, which is the Gradle tasks pane, and then I want to do task tree view, add that there. Then I want to do the loader as well, so I want to do loading spinner. I think that's fine. And then yeah, that's basically all of those. Now the main reason I wanted to do that is because I think I need to add FX border width. Set that to 0. Or can't you? No, you can do FS border none, can't you? I actually don't remember. If I look at the Project Explorer, I should be able to see it in here. Yeah, you can do FX border width. Okay, I'll just do that then. So FX border width, which I'll set to 0. Okay. I didn't even know the Project Explorer has a border. Oh, it does. Probably shouldn't. That's kind of a bug, actually. It probably shouldn't have that. Okay, let's see if that has actually ordered them in the correct order, and also if this works, I guess, but that's not too important. Let's do this one. Yeah, that did actually work. Okay. Okay, so yes, it has. That has worked. Nice. Okay, fantastic. Now, colors didn't work, though. I don't know what... Oh, of course it didn't, because I didn't actually add the colors, because I'm an idiot. So, yeah, I need to actually add style class. Would help significantly. Now, oh, how am I going to do this? Yeah, basically that. Thank you, Copilot. That is actually exactly what I was looking for. It's not ideal. I mean, yeah, it's not ideal, but that will work. You have to do this because these can be reused for different types of elements, right? So that's just how it has to be, unfortunately. Okay, that also didn't work though. Well, why does this now have that color? That's the color of the... Oh. Wait, this isn't right. This needs to be icon.get style class, and this needs to be icon.get style class. That's why I was like, what? Why does it put it on there? That would be why. Okay, let's try again. Nice, that has worked. Okay, these colors are maybe not great. Yeah, these are not great. I honestly don't like that terminal icon. Also, am I crazy or is it background? No, I don't think there is actually. Never mind. I think I am crazy actually. I think the folders are okay. I think the folders are okay. The Gradle icon just isn't great. So fix that. I think some kind of blue would be good. Honestly, the IntelliJ blue is kind of good. What does IntelliJ use for these? It's purple, right? Yeah, like a pink purple. But we can't really use that because that's like IntelliJ color scheme. I feel like. So it would just be weird to use that. I don't know. We need a better Gradle elephant icon color. Let's go try and find a better hex color. You know, what if we swap them? What if we make the... Oh, no. Never mind, that's a different color. Okay, interesting. What is this one, then? I mean, I think it's really the icon that lets the task one down, right? I think the color is probably fine. It's just that it doesn't have a background. I don't know why it doesn't have a background. We're using solid font awesome. Maybe font awesome regular? Is terminal even in regular? No. What about this one? Does this have like a terminal? It does. I wonder what that looks like. Can I get the... Wait, you can't return? Okay, that's really cringe. I mean, I think the terminal is okay. Does dev icons have a terminal? Maybe? They do. There's terminal and terminal badge. Can we have a look at what that looks like? Let's have a look at that and see what that looks like. And then maybe if this looks shit, we'll look at what terminal badge is. Oh, that's nice. It's weird because usually you don't really associate. Yeah, you kind of don't, do you? You don't associate Gradle with that color. What about... Oh, I just found a perfect one, then I just lost it. Bugger. Oh, I found a great color, and then I lost it. Wait, I can get it back, actually. 1 second. It was this one. No, not this one. This one. No. Yeah, it was this one. It was this one, I think. Wait, no, it wasn't. Was it? Yes, it was. It was this one, but then I just hue shifted it to a better color, which is this one. So if I do that, that will be a better color. Okay, let's look at the oh, there you go. Isn't that the exact one IntelliJ uses? Yeah, it's the exact same. Yeah, that is actually identical, funnily enough. I like that. I think that's okay. Let's rerun it and see the Gradle one next to it. Because it looked weird being similar to the Gradle one. Or, yeah, pretty much the exact same as the Gradle one. Yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit too bright, isn't it? I'm not good at colors, so you know, once again, this is the kind of thing that we're going to leave to the designer, but I want to try and get something that looks passable for now. Let's try this one. That's better. Yeah, that's all right. I think these are weird being a normal folder icon. I think they really do need to be something slightly different. But we don't have the cog one that IntelliJ uses. I don't know what that is. I mean, we could try some of the dev icons one. Dev icons had some folder ones. Wait, no, maybe it wasn't dev icons. I thought it was dev icons. What was it then? Was it, oh, it might have been maybe these ones? Yeah. I don't think these are really... These aren't really the right ones, are they? It's not going to be any of those. Let's just go back to normal folder. Yeah. Yeah. We'll just stick with folder for now. Later on, we can obviously design our own icons for different things, but that will be fine for now. Okay. Next thing is obviously right click, and obviously on the task as well, we can do hover for descriptions. Those both should be pretty easy. Right click's obviously going to be a little bit more complicated, so let's do hover first, just to get the description, and then we'll go from there. So, okay. Yeah, so like there isn't... Oh, interesting. So the project has a hover in IntelliJ. I assume these don't, right? Yeah, they don't. Okay, so just tasks have a description. The project also has a description. But that's fine. So... how do we do this? Can we do set on mouse? No, there's a way to do it. Set, is it tooltip? Yeah, set tooltip. Here we go. And then we can do okay, I guess we can have a tooltip in here, right? So we could have a public tooltip get tooltip, and just by default we can return null, which means there won't be a tooltip, right? But then in the... We'll come back to project, I think. We'll do group first. So get tooltip, And we're just going to return. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. This one. Get some tooltip. And we're just going to return a new tooltip. Why does this still come up twice? This is a really weird thing I had come up a couple weeks ago, but it still comes up twice. Why? So weird. Regardless, anyways, we can just do this.task.description. That's it. How's Mystic Factories? It is coming along, I suppose. I'm just trying to... What am I doing right now? I'm writing a text renderer, so I can render text, because I want to have a UI system, of course, so I'm just doing the text stuff at the moment. No, there is not a beta version wide. I shouldn't have opened Railroad, because that does the whole thing. Yeah, Railroad's a little bit too much. Does that work? Nice. Okay, the tooltip is a little too instant. I feel like. Wait, sometimes it's instant, sometimes it's not. Okay, whatever. Are you gonna use SDF for text? What the fuck? What is STF? Wide? I don't know what that is. SDF. What is SDF? I don't think I know what that is. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm just using I'm using the I don't even know. I haven't got it working yet, so I don't know what I'm using. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really doing anything complex, to be honest, for it. Context menu. Hello, Aleatorio. Welcome to the stream. Don't know why I put that in there. That's not where I wanted that. Wanted that in here. Okay. The context menu is when you right click it, right? I think so. Okay, so that just means I can now do a context menu, right? So I can get context menu. Yeah. SDF sign distance field allows for text to be scaled nicely. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't like rendered it yet. I think I'm just I don't know, to be honest. I'd have to have a look at my code. I haven't got to the rendering point yet. I've just been turning it. I've been getting the thing into glyphs and then doing the maths for that. So I haven't got to the rendering portion yet. So I don't know. That sounds very scary. Why? So I don't. Yeah, this needs to take in a Gradle task model tasks. Does it need to do this? Sure, you can do that. So what do we actually add? We add run, we add debug. We have modify run configuration. What does that do? Oh, that creates a new run configuration. I see. Okay. Execute before sync. Assign shortcuts. Interesting. Execute before rebuild. I kind of want to see what this does, but I'm scared to click it because if it does do something, I don't know how I would turn it off. I don't know. I'm just gonna do run debug. I'm just gonna do run debug actually. Wait, how do you do this? How do you add to a context menu? Items? Yeah, the items.add. New menu item. Okay, which has a new bar run icon is equal to a new font icon, which takes in font awesome solid dot play button, and then it takes in just that, right? And then that needs to add the icon. Now I think if I go into styles, if I go to, is it icon bar? No, it's I think it's just run configurations. When you gonna stream next week, or do you? I'm gonna stream tomorrow. But I might also stream during the, well, probably gonna stream on Tuesday as well. But on Tuesday it's gonna be on Twitch. I'm planning to do some gaming streams. So yeah, I'm gonna stream tomorrow, which will be another Railroad stream, and then I'm gonna stream on Twitch on Tuesday, and then I might stream on Wednesday, maybe. Yeah, I might stream on Wednesday, which will be a mod dev stream actually. So we'll be doing some Minecraft modding again on if I stream on Wednesday, of course. And then I might stream another gaming stream on Thursday, and then Friday I kind of wanted to stream as well. I kind of want to stream every single day next week, actually, now that I think about it, which is kind of funny. I kind of want to do alternating streams next week. Monday I want to do, well, Monday of course I'm going to do Railroad because I didn't stream yesterday. Tuesday is going to be a gaming stream on Twitch. Wednesday I want to do a mod dev stream. Thursday, well, Thursday it's going to depend, but probably a gaming stream on Twitch again. And then Friday I want to do another mod dev stream. And then Saturday, obviously I will stream Railroad. Sunday I'll stream Railroad. And then the week after, I don't know. I don't know what happens the week after. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning right now. But none of that is set in stone. The only thing set in stone is Monday, which will be tomorrow, which will be Railroad stream. And Tuesday. Tuesday is kind of set in stone as well. So Tuesday will be Minecraft stream on Twitch. Which is the stone block wide. that is planned for Tuesday. Because Alex needs to finish his uni thing. So yeah, Tuesday we can start that. And then we'll probably do that on Thursday as well. Maybe. Yeah, probably. I might also stream during the day at some point, rather than in the evening. I don't know when though. I haven't kind of decided that yet. Okay, what I wanted to do, I'm getting a little bit lost here. So first of all, this needs to be a localized menu item, and then it needs to take in. It'll be like run like this, right? So run. That needs to be a thing in the lang. So let's go lang enus, and let's find run. Yeah, it'll be like no, it'll be this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be like that, and then can I pass in args or no? No. Don't have support for arguments. Okay. Okay. In that case, I will have to use this one, which is fine. Later, at some point, I'll probably fix that. And then we want run icon as well, which it doesn't like because this takes in a URL. Why isn't there one that takes in a graphic though? Fine, I'm gonna have to add one that takes in a graphic then, aren't I? Okay. I can just do this. Takes in the key. Okay. Then that takes that in. And then I do need to add a click thing for this, don't I? So, run item. Oh, hello. Oh, there we go. Okay, that was weird. Set on action. This will need to create a new run configuration, so that's going to be interesting. Do we have the project? We do not, but we can get it, can't we? So we can get projects. And then what we can do, actually, I mean, technically we can do, there is a way to run this specific task. I don't remember how. But what I was thinking is we can do project.get run config manager, and then we can add a run configuration. We can add a new run configuration. Which will take in the type, which will be run configuration types.Gradle, and then it will take in the data, which will be a new Gradle run configuration data. And isn't there one that takes in? There isn't. Okay. Let's do configuration data like that. Okay. That is a thing. It's just not called that. Yeah, there you go. So task.project.project directory, and then we can do set task. Yeah, that's a thing as well, but it's just not called that again. Okay, so we also need the task. So I need to do set task, which will be task.name. Then we need to do configuration data. I think I need to call this. Yeah, I do. So I need to set that to be JDK manager dot get default JDK, and then anything else? I think show console on run is true by default. The only other thing will be the name, which will be, I guess the project name, and then in brackets, the name task. So, we will do project dot, well, not project, task dot project dot name plus, and then in brackets, task dot name. And then I was just going to check what the... Okay, that is set to true. Good, good, good. And then, yeah, that's fine because that needs to be set. That's set. That's set. That don't need to worry about. Okay, I think that's it. So then that passes in the configuration data. Like that. And then I think I need to actually run it. So I need to do... Question, does add configuration cause an update? No, but it does need to do that. Okay, for now, what I can do is I can just call send updated configuration, which will be project.run configurations. I think I need to do that because if I find where this is used, yeah. Oh, never mind. That just sets them. Never mind. I don't need to do that. The other thing I just need to do is I need to actually run it. So, I think. I don't know how you do that. I don't remember. Might just be run configuration. Oop, nope. Run configuration dot run, which takes in the project. I think that's it. If I just plonk that in there, then I can use a var for that, which just cleans that up a little bit. Nice. I think that's correct. If I find usages real quick. Yeah. That's correct. Okay. I know we're overrunning a little bit, but we are almost done. So we might as well just finish. So we'll just pass a project in here. We will set that, of course. So private. Well, we're not finished, but we're almost done with like what I want to get done today. And then we'll kind of finish up. We'll do dependencies tomorrow, which is going to be hell. So where are you created? You're created here. Do you have the project in here? No. You need to have the project. Oh, the project actually isn't even in this class. So that might be a problem. So project needs to be passed into here. Project. Boom. Oh. This needs to be Gradle project model. This needs to then take in project. Boom. Then that needs to take in project. And then I just need to make it so in here, the project is passed in there. And then the only other thing I just want to quickly do, and this shouldn't take long, is do the bar debug icon. debug button, and then debug item, and it's basically going to be the exact same thing. It's just going to call debug, and then I can just do add all, run, and debug, and then don't want that. What was I going to do? I don't know. That might be it. Yes? I think. Yeah. Okay, no, there is one quick thing. I don't know if I can even do this, though. And that is that I need to select the run configuration. I don't know if I can do that, though. Like, I need it selected in here. I don't think I can do that. No. So, to do select run configuration in UI. Just going to plunk that to do in here as well, so I remember, because otherwise I will not remember. Okay, I do kind of want to just make this a thing, like extract this as a method real quick. Otherwise, I will also forget to do this. So create run config. Replace. Nice. So that's just so much cleaner immediately. And then yeah, I'm just going to plunk that in here. And then that is it. Okay, let's give it a run. We'll see if it works. Hopefully it will. And then we'll be done for today. And we'll get back to this tomorrow. So we'll go tutorial mode just because that's easier to do. We can test running the client. So if we go in here, we can go, is it in other, I think? No, it must be in fabric. Yes, there it is. So if I just run, no. What? What the hell? Value.toString is causing a stack overflow? Why would path.toString cause a stack overflow? Unless... No, that doesn't make any sense. What the fuck have I done? Out.value. Value.toString. I actually have no idea. I genuinely no idea. Yeah, I don't know. Has that not worked then? No, it is actually when you click it. Does that cause it to happen again? Yeah, it has. Wait, this is a different one, though. This is different. Stack Overflow, but this one doesn't say where it's happened. Unless it doesn't, it's all the way at the bottom, maybe. Nope. Okay, anyways, we're gonna have to end it here. So we're not gonna know if this works or not. Well, I mean, it doesn't work. But we're not gonna know why, unfortunately. I'm gonna quickly try and debug it. Very quickly. I'm gonna put a breakpoint in here. And just see, like, is it getting to here? I mean, it should be. So let's see. Allow, whatever. Because I want to know. This is such a weird error, right? Okay. So then we'll come into here. We'll go fabric. We go run client, run. Okay, so we go into there. Oh, the issue is actually in here. Like, wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's just being weird, I think. Wait, it's being so slow. What the hell is it doing? Look how long it takes until it's able to step over. It's crazy. The hell? Okay, set name. Holy shit. So slow. What on earth? Okay, in that case, it must be caused by add configuration. It has to be caused by add configuration. But, like, what the hell is happening? Bro, I am breaking so many things right now. Bro, even stepping into... Bro, it's actually dying. Like, IntelliJ is dying. I can't step into it. Okay, well, we actually are going to have to end the stream here then. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you again tomorrow. Yep. So, goodbye.